Hi everybody, this is Oracle Ani. I'm a psychic medium and I'm also a trained healer. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the first time that I tried to help somebody with their haunted home. It's been several years now. The first thing that I'd like to say is that I I always help people connect to spirits or deliver messages from spirit that both the spirit has agreed to come forth and the person has requested the message. So when those two agreements meet up in front of me, I share messages. Otherwise, I will not do it because nobody wants to be coaxed to talking to people they don't want to talk to or that they don't want to hear from. And that goes for in this reality and in the 4D reality. Okay? All right. So, of course, in this case, the spirit approached me and the owner of the house also approached me. And so at the time that the owner mentioned that the house that they were dealing with, they thought possibly it could be haunted. I didn't know that the spirit had already contacted me from like, let's say like 2 weeks, maybe a month before. Like I hadn't made the connection that this spirit that contacted me was related to this house with this person. So I arrived in New Orleans and I am at this point, it was like, I remember that it was April and I remember that it was Easter because I didn't plan it that way, it just happened to be at that time. I had just finished mediumship training and I've always loved real estate and just touring houses and apartments. And in talking to the owner of the house, we're talking about real estate and she's telling me about the projects that she's worked on and where she's lived. And it's been, you know, really exciting. And I still follow her projects. Then I mentioned that I'm a medium and that I just finished training. And that's when she says, you know, I think that the other house may be haunted. And I was wondering if you would be interested in going over there and kind of just telling me what's going on, if you have any insights that, you know, maybe can help me with the house. And I was so excited that I just said, yeah, let's go, like, let's do it. As soon as I arrived to the gate, I felt a lot of pressure or like a sense of like heaviness that I only realized it looking back and not in the moment. In the moment, I was just excited and I'm like, this is cool, like I get to help somebody with this. And yeah, and so she opens the gate and I walk right behind her And all of a sudden, I feel this, like my vision gets really, really blurry. Kind of like if you like hit your head on a table. Um, and I do feel like somebody hit me over the head, like right here. And then like my vision is blurry, and then I'm dizzy, and um, and I'm just trying to like compose myself and keep walking. And within like a few seconds, the pain, like the pain or the sensation of being hit behind the head is gone. I'm not dizzy anymore. I just keep walking. But I noted that that was interesting, and I was like, okay, like I've never felt that before, ever. And I've had scary experiences in cemeteries, and like this didn't feel scary. This didn't feel like I was necessarily being attacked. Um, this was more like I guess like it's more like a watch out situation. And I will talk about what that was later. But also, I do want to tell you that this is not a scary story at all. This is more of an interesting story. Um, okay, so I so we walk into the house, and she's showing me around, and I believe that I believe that before we went, she told me that the previous owner of the house, her little daughter would see the ghost of a woman in the house. So I had that information. If I remember correctly, I feel like I already had that information before going to the house. Now, my main ability with mediumship is using my clairaudience, which means that I can hear spirits talking. I can hear their tone of voice. It's as if somebody was talking to me, like right here next to me. I know it's not me. I know it's not my thoughts. I know it's this other individual that I just can't physically see. But I also have clairvoyance, so when it comes to spirits, I can see the outline of their energy. And sometimes I can see them with my physical eyes, like as if they were a person, but that's very rare. I more so just see the outline of their energy, and so, or I can see like a vision of them in my third eye. So it depends on what kind of spirit it is. Okay, so she's showing me through like the first floor of the house, and for some reason I want to call it the ground floor of the house. And it's a really beautiful home. It's from the 1920s, and it's a craftsman style home. And the furniture that she brought in to stage it was just beautiful as well. And so I'm admiring the furniture, I'm admiring everything about this house, like the floors and like the details built into the home. And as I'm walking through, I am paying attention to, there's the dove. I am paying attention to what I'm hearing. And what I'm hearing is a lot of whispering, and the whispers were saying, what are, like, who are you? What are you here to do? Um, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Who are you? And um, I don't remember right now. I don't remember right now if I said, like, I'm not here to harm anybody or anything. Um, I don't think I said anything back, but I really don't remember because it's been several years now. And um, and so, like, the owner of the house is telling me that the refrigerator, or the refrigerator that she just installed, is not making ice, and that she had um, the electrician come in and check it. Sorry, the doves are really active right now. She had an electrician to come check it, and the electrician couldn't find anything wrong with the refrigerator or um, with the connection in the kitchen. She called um, a refrigerator guy, and he couldn't find any reason for the freezer not to make ice. Um, like, the refrigerator was brand new, like stainless steel, you know, brand new refrigerator. And so I think she also said that she had saged the house, um, but that this situation persisted, and so she wanted to just check, is this still haunted, or like, what is going on here? And so I told her, I'm like, yeah, no, there are definitely spirits here, like, no doubt, no doubt. We're there is activity for sure. And so I kept walking around and, just looking at the property. Really, really beautiful house. And so then we go upstairs to see the bedrooms, and she tells me, like, a little bit of the history from the previous family that lived there. And we are going upstairs, and I walk into the the master bedroom. I felt very much like I'm walking into somebody's master bedroom, like I'm walking into their bedroom. And, like, when you go to somebody's home, you don't just like walk into their bedroom. You stay in the living room, you stay in the kitchen, you like go to, maybe, like, you stay in the guest area of the house. You don't just like walk into their bedroom. Um, and so, I felt like I was maybe like trespassing a little bit, even though I was invited to be there, for the purpose of, helping the current owner of the house. And so the way that this, so there was like the bedroom with the chimney, and then there was a doorway to like a walk-in closet that I believe used to be like a bedroom for like a baby, and it was very like narrow, um, and you could also access the balcony from this bedroom. This bedroom that now was turned into a walk-in closet with like beautiful windows and, just very, very nice. And then that led to another door that led to the master bathroom. And at some point, I picked up on the energy of this woman. And it's a little frantic, honestly. And so um, I come back downstairs, and I tell the owner, like, okay, there is a lady upstairs. There is somebody upstairs. Um, I'm, like, I can try to communicate with them right now, or I can come back, or like we can come back another time. And I think that we decided that I was going to communicate with them right away. Um, so the owner stayed downstairs, and I went upstairs to have a session. And so I walk into the master bedroom, and I try to get information about who they are and what it is. Like, what is the problem? Like, you tell me, what is the problem? Or like, why are you here, right? And so it turned out that she said, I am the owner of this house. And I said, okay, cool. Um, you know, I'm trying to, okay, I'm trying to like recall all of the stuff that happened. She definitely told me that she was the owner of the house. And so I acknowledged it, and I said, you have a beautiful home. And I said, is there anything that I can help you with? Like, is there a reason why you're still here, even though you're, okay, is there a reason why you're still here? And and she said, well, I'm very upset. I'm very mad. Um, and I said, okay, like, what are you mad about? Like, what happened? And she said, they covered up my back porch. Oh, no, she said, they've done work to my house that I don't like. And I've been so mad about it. And I'm like, okay. And at some point in the conversation, I said the F word. And I remember the spirit going like, I don't talk like that. Like, don't say that I said that. I do not talk like that. I do not talk like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. Like, so do not paraphrase for spirits and like make them, do not put words in their mouths, because they know exactly what you're saying. And so, so I said, okay, so like, what kind of work is it that you don't agree with? Because the owner of the house, like the current owner of the house, was doing work. And she said, the work that they did is in the back room, and I don't like it. And I go like, okay. So was it done by the lady that's downstairs? And I don't like it. And I'm like, okay. So I kind of felt like that was the message, and that there wasn't really anything else to talk about. So I was getting the hint that, this is the message that I got. This is what I'm going to tell the current owner of the house. And as I'm thinking about wrapping up the conversation and walking out of the room, she's coming up the stairs. And so it kind of was like this perfect timing situation. And so I said to her, the spirit that's here is the original owner of the house, and she's telling me that there was work done in the back room that she is really not happy about. And she's like, work in the back room? And I go like, yeah, and then I tap in with the spirit, and she tells me something about a balcony. And so I hear the word balcony, and so I tell the current owner this, something about a balcony, and she goes like, "Oh yeah, there was a balcony in the back room that oversaw the backyard, and that's been covered up. Like, she's like, I can show you." And so like we go to the back room, and she shows me the outline on the wall of like where the balcony would have been, because you can kind of see the lines in the drywall a little bit. And I go like, okay, wow, like, well, she's really not happy with that at all. And so like at this point we're like, well, what do we do? You know? Um, and so one of the mistakes that we made, and at the time we didn't think it was a mistake, we were just kind of going with the energy, was like, you know, maybe we can talk to the previous owner and see if we can find the person that did the work, and just be like, she doesn't like it or something like that. And now that I say it, it sounds silly that we even tried to do that, because how are you gonna find like a handyman from who knows how long? Like I don't really know how long ago they did that work. It could have been 10, 20 years, 30 years. We did talk to the previous owner, and she said that the previous owners had done the work. And so it was a long time ago, and we weren't going to be able to find the handyman really. And so I went, I then went to I went into the walk-in closet, because I think there was like a sitting stool or something. And so I sat there, and I explained the situation to the spirit, and I said, listen, the man that did the work, we're not going to be able to find him. Like, I'm not going to be able to give him your message. I said, the current owner of the house is aware of what happened, and we tried to find this guy, and it's just not going to be possible. And so then I asked her, like, would you be willing to move on, and leave the house? And she kind of like, the energy that I got from it, because right now I don't remember a yes, but I do remember the feeling of consent and the feeling of okay. And so then I with the tools that I learned in class, I helped her move on. And before I ended the session, I said to her, it kind of came to me just out of complete inspiration and complete like joy for the work that I'm doing. I said to her, by the way, if there's anything that you can do about the refrigerator and the ice, if there's anything you can do about that before you leave, I would really appreciate it. We would really appreciate that. And I remember her saying, like, me, refrigerator, I don't know anything about refrigerators. And I said, okay, well, like, just saying if you can. That would be great. And so then I kind of just felt the spirit, move on. And And so then I was like, okay, well, you know, case closed. And and so then I go back downstairs and I tell the owner, I'm like, okay, I mean, she's moved on, um, so I guess that's it, you know. And she's like, okay, cool, let's go, you know. And so we get back in the car and we're driving back to the home, and um, and she says to me, wait, no, we don't talk about anything. We didn't talk about anything else. So then I know that we had a conversation after we left the house where I told her that I asked the spirit to please do something about the refrigerator before she left. And I I don't remember at what point, I guess while we're having the conversation, the owner of the house said to me that she had had a conversation with one of her friends about what we were going to go do in the house. And that friend said to her, well, maybe she can ask the ghost to help with the refrigerator. And I hadn't heard that conversation at all. Like, I didn't even know that had happened. And we thought it was really funny that I did ask the ghost to help with the refrigerator. And so now we were, yeah, okay. So it was on the drive. It was on the drive home, and so we were like, all right, well, let's see what happens with the refrigerator by tomorrow. And um, and so then the next morning, like first thing in the morning, she had called somebody that was at the somebody that was staying at the haunted house, but wasn't there when we were touring. When I was there, they weren't there, right? And it was one of the bedrooms that we didn't go into. Um, but anyway, so like she called the person in the morning. It was like maybe 9 in the morning or something. It's like, hey, can you go check the refrigerator? Can you tell us if there's ice? And the person went to the refrigerator and there was ice, and we were like, what? And it was so crazy. I was just like, that's crazy. That's nuts. That's like, what? Because I wasn't really expecting a result. I was just having a conversation, going like, hey, by the way, if you can fix that, that'd be great. And then it's fixed, like not even 24 hours later. Um, so, that was like the that was really the first time that I was just like, okay, like this is something. This is something, right? Um, Now, the energy in the house, well, yeah, the energy in the house was still a little. Mm, there were still things going on with the house, but it wasn't with the house itself. And by the way, I am going to put a picture of the front of the house, because I've been given permission to share what this house looked like from the outside. Um, so I there was more work to do in regards to the land that the house was on. This was like a completely different issue than the original owner of the house. This was um, this had to do with like construction that was going on next door, and the there was a lot of um, riling up of energies that did not want that construction and that were defending the property. And I'm talking about the soil. I'm talking about like nature spirits that were very, very, very defensive of like who was coming and what was happening, and you know, the property is being split up, and they're very upset as well. And so I know that that was what had hit me over the head when I first walked in, because they were just on guard. Um, and I was able to see what they looked like in my third eye. And it was like war paint on these like troll looking beings. Um, I have actually um, a I have a tarot deck that has fairies on it, and some of the fairies depicted in this deck, they look like the creatures that I saw defending this land. And I'm gonna find a picture and I'll post those two here so that you know we all want to imagine fairies as being like these beautiful beautiful little things that glimmer and glow and are magical, and they are, but you don't want to upset them because they're going to look like what I'm going to show you. And it doesn't, just because they look scary doesn't mean that they're not magical or they're not special, or that they're not fairies. It just means that that is what they are, and there's like, there's a media representation of fairies, and then there's like the real representation of fairies, right? So anyway, there were more things with the house as well, where like I don't even know if I should share it in this video, but basically, I learned a lot about everything that's possible when it comes to a property, and it was like the first example that I had about, being a little bit more discerning about who you invite in, because there are a lot of unaware people who have abilities in the astral that they are not aware of, and they invite things in, and they come in and they like do things and then they leave, and then you're stuck with this mess. And because they're unaware of it, they are not doing it on purpose. It's just kind of like something that comes naturally to them. So I continued to do work on the house even after I left the city, and just working on it telepathically. So 6 months later, I returned to the house, and I feel completely free in the house. I feel like calm, I feel free, I feel like nothing is lurking around the corner. There are no voices, there's no nothing. It's just complete like calm. And to the point that I was able to go down to the kitchen and stay by myself in the kitchen working on my computer, without feeling like anything was behind my back, or There wasn't anything trying to get my attention. It was just like peace, calm, and tranquility. And so at that point, I knew that I did the best that I could do with the energy of the house. And that's my story. That's one of my stories. I have other mediumship stories that are not scary. I, of course, have scary ones, but they are, at this point, a minority of the stories. Or maybe they're equal. It depends. It depends on like before training and after training. Definitely the before training experiences have been scarier, and the after training experiences are just kind of like, okay, that's interesting, and that kind of sucked. Um, you learn. I feel like you learn with each case. So that was the first haunted house that I helped, and I hope you enjoyed this story, and I hope that it, taught you something, that you got something out of this. And if you want me to tell the other stories, I will make more videos. And if I see a lot of likes in this video, then I will continue to make them. Otherwise, I will see you in another video, and I hope you have a great day, and I hope to talk to you soon. Okay? Bye!